Welcome back to PWHL Source. I'm Avery. The PWHL offseason is now over, so now it's time to grade every team's offseason performance. There are lots of new players joining the league, so now each team has been shaken up a bit. But before we get into it, be sure to hit that subscribe button and also hit that bell so you don't miss a new post. Also, follow me on Instagram and X at PWHL Source. Alright, let's get started with the Toronto Sceptres, who get an A. Drafting Julia Gosling, drafting Izzy Daniel, re-signing Hannah Miller, re-signing Ali Munro, those are all the moves I had expected them to do. They even brought in Daryl Watts, who was Ottawa's leader in goals last season. Like, what? Even bringing in Rylan McKinnon, and they could have had Laura Kluge too if it wasn't for a military commitment. Since Natalie Spooner is missing the first part of the season, Daryl Watts will help with some of that scoring. Unless they run into a hot goaltender in the playoffs again, they have the potential to win it all this season. Moving on to the Ottawa Charge. Drafting Danielle Serdachny, Ronya Savalainen, Gwyneth Phillips in the first 3 rounds, excellent moves by them. Serdachny is going to help them score goals, which was what they struggled to do earlier on in last season. Savalainen brings a tall, physical presence to their back end, which is what they need. Phillips will be an upgrade to the backup goalie, hopefully take some of the pressure off Emirates Matchmeyer. Even bringing back Aneta Terlova and Katerina Mrazova, who were solid for them last season. I gave them a B+, mainly because you couldn't bring back Daryl Watts, who was a key player for you last season, but overall the team looks better with the moves they made. Could they get into the playoffs? We'll have to find out. Now on to the New York Sirens, who also get an A. Sarah Fillier, Maya Nyland-Pearson, Nora Toulouche, Allison Simpson. What pickups by them. Getting Fillier at #1 overall is going to help big time. She's looked awesome so far playing with Alex Carpenter and Jesse Eldridge. There was an initial rumor that they were going to draft Danielle Serdachny #1 overall to bring that Colgate connection along with new coach Greg Fargo, former Colgate coach, Nyland-Pearson and Toulouche coming from the SDHL, Simpson coming from Colgate. She even got a chance to play in the most recent leg of the rivalry series. They also brought back Corinne Schroeder, who's been excellent in net for them. All of their new additions were players that they drafted this season. New players, new coaching staff. This team needed a retooling. They went out and did that. I think they're making the playoffs this year. Now on to the Montreal Victoire. Drafting Kayla Barnes and Jennifer Gardner, who are best friends at Ohio State, smart to keep them together. They took a risk drafting Abby Boreen, who's still in pharmacy school but will now be doing it from a long distance. Lena Youngblom and Gardner are going to improve that top 6 forward core on the left wing, which is something that they were lacking last season. I chose to give them a B. While they made the moves I expected them to make, they didn't do anything that totally jumped out to me. Elaine Chuli, Mariah Keppel, Amanda Boulier, Catherine Dubois, all players I expected to be re-signed. I was hoping for them to draft Emmy Fecteau to continue bringing French-Canadian players there. Overall, good offseason, not perfect. They've still got a solid team out there that can go far. Next is the Boston Fleet. Hannah Bilka, fast, skilled player, brought in to boost their top players' goal scoring, especially that of Hilary Knight. Daniela Pesheva, tall, physical defender, youngest player drafted this year. I gave them a solid B+. They're essentially running it back from last season. They're already a super physical team, just adding to it with players like Pesheva and Shea Maloney. They even got Clara Peslova, like, this team now is the best goaltending trio in the league. She could possibly even be a starter when the league expands. Even Amanda Pelkey was a solid re-sign, who was solid for them in the playoffs last season. Great physical team, potential Walter Cup winners this season. And finally, we have the Minnesota Frost, who had the most eventful offseason of all. It started off with them letting go of GM Natalie Darwitz, leaving coach Ken Klee to do the drafting. They took Claire Thompson, who was a great player but was a surprising pick. They took controversial player Britta Curl. They had a chance to draft Abby Boreen and chose not to. I don't know, C? They did bring back Michaela Cava and Liz Sheppers, which I expected them to. But there's still so many questions about the moves they decided to make. It has been mentioned that Klee took players based on the style of play he wants his team to play. They're hoping for a gritty style of play, so they drafted players that fits that. Klee has talked highly about Brooke McQuigg, who they took in the 4th round, when she was originally projected to go as early as the 7th round. I'm curious to see them play this season, but I don't know, I'm unconvinced. So there are my final assessments for this offseason. If you enjoyed, don't forget to leave it a like, that's the best way to show your support. Also leave a comment below, I'd love to know your thoughts on how each team did. And that's going to wrap it up for now. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you next time. Bye!